Welcome to this episode of Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our show today, we will feature our head girls basketball coaches from 7 of our 9 varsity programs. We'll also have a couple of special guests, local media personality Don King and Legends Foundation President Kathy Barkley, to memorialize our close friend and colleague J.V. Haney, who passed away this past week at the age of 89. Stay tuned and we'll be right back with Don and Kathy. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Last week, an icon in Tulsa athletics, Coach J.V. Haney, passed away at the age of 89. J.V. was a friend and a colleague of mine, and today we have 2 people that did a lot of things with J.V., some in school and some in the broadcast industry. We have Kathy Barkley. Kathy was one of his students at Edison, and Don King worked with him in all the broadcasts, radio, TV, podcast, everything. And we're going to reflect a little bit today on JV and his life in Tulsa as the sports figure that he was. So you met him first because he was your high school teacher. Tell us a little bit about JV.
Well, JV was the history teacher at Edison High School, but he was known as the coach, as the basketball coach, and he was also an assistant in baseball there. But he began his career after he graduated from NEO and went to Adair, started there in '56, and then meandered his way down to Tulsa and started at Webster as an assistant to the great Bill Allen there, and then moved over to Edison in 1970. So he's kept his career there till 76, and I was there. I graduated in 75. So I knew him as a student, not as a player, obviously. And but he was very supportive of women's athletics, and we eventually, in 74, did get the Title IX opportunity for women to compete in non-contact sports. But JV was known as a coach, and he was so well loved and respected by his by the students, the teachers, the faculty, and the parents there at Edison High School.
He was really an outstanding individual. He really cared about the kids. That was first and foremost, always, I think, with JV. I met him in '76 when he moved over here to be an AD. That was my first year at Union, and we got involved with Jimmy Sellers, who was the AD at Edison. He wanted to get out of the Metro baseball tournament. And so he asked JV to do it because JV had been on his staff over there. Well, JV called me and said, well, let's double team this thing. Let's do it. I said, well, okay. I had coached college baseball. So I thought, well, yeah, that'd be fun. Spend a week at the parks and everything. So every year for the first 3 years, it rained on Tuesday. Now, we had 24 teams. It was called the Tulsa County Metro Tournament. We had 24 teams at 3 different venues, O'Brien, Driller, and La Fortune. And I'm sitting in his office, in this building, as a matter of fact, down at the end of the hall down there, on a Tuesday, and it's pouring down rain. We played one round. Half the teams have played, the other half haven't. We don't know if we're going to go single elimination, double elimination. What are we going to do? It's still raining. And the phone rings. And that Friday was supposed to be the Webster relays. And so a lady on the other end of the phone said, I need to talk to the AD. He said, you got him? He said, well, I'm from Bishop Kelly. And, Friday's Good Friday. And we can't run on Friday. That's a holiday for us at Bishop Kelly. He said, well, what is it? He said, well, it's Good Friday. He said, well, every Friday is good for me. Friday. Yeah. She said, well, I'm going to call Ed Coffey, who was the principal here. He said, who? Ed Coffey. I don't know who you're talking about. Well, he's the principal. He said, I stay over here in the gym. I never go over to that other building. I don't know it. Well, I'm calling Larry Zinke. Now, who was Larry Zinke? Well, he was superintendent of schools.
Yep.
Is he in that one over on 31st Street in that building? Yeah, yeah. I never will cross the river. I don't know who that is.
Oh,
She hung up on him. And they had the Webster relays on Friday.
Yeah.
But JV was that kind of a guy. You know, he wanted to have a good time, but he wanted to take care of the kids. So when you were at Edison, what all was he involved in? I know he coached some baseball and some basketball.
Yeah, he oversaw the Letterman's Association there, which was kind of a big deal. But back in Edison during the 70s, Edison was a community school. You lived within the boundaries, and you would go to school there, and you would play there, and it was a little tighter knit group, I think. And JV talked about that, in recent times. He missed those days because you had a tighter knit community and people really were supportive of the basketball program. But I talked to a couple of the former players, Jeff Matthews and Steve Pollock, and he talked about the playing basketball for JV was a pleasure. It wasn't pleasant all the time necessarily because he had a well-defined, structured program.
Yeah.
He and Mike Pounds ran a tight program, a lot of conditioning, a lot of up and backs till you can't stand up, and a lot of drills with the infamous rebounder machine
That he invented.
that he invented and had patented, and the guys always would talk about that. But practices were tough. It was disciplined. It was strict, and he had a program for the kids. But he introduced scouting reports to a lot of these high school kids that had never, knew anything about that. And he also expected them to play in the summertime and do the summer leagues. If you want to play on the team, you gotta work it through the summer. But they had 30 to 40 kids try out as sophomores to try to make the varsity squad. And you just don't see that anymore in Tulsa Public Schools.
Numbers are not there anymore.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I had heard the story. You were such a great athlete at Edison that while he was a baseball coach, he had you come out and pitch to the baseball team?
I went out a few times because JV always got a kick, and he really loved women's sports. He coached women's basketball for as long as he could, but in our school we obviously didn't. But he knew I had a good arm, and so he said, "Come on out, just throw a few balls. I'll have you pitch for JV practice." And so of course I came out there, and I sadly humiliated a few people, and I probably pinged a few people too as well. But I would go out and pitch just practices at times, and he got the biggest kick out of that, and it stirred up the players a little bit. But he really was so well respected, and all the players loved playing for Coach Haney, and he taught a lot about dignity, respect, and self-worth. It was more than just X's and O's. And,
He had a Hall of Fame career. He was in the Oklahoma Coaches Hall of Fame. He's in the Oklahoma Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. He's National Hall of Fame, the TPS Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And it never meant that much to him that he had gotten that. It was just a matter that he had done the time and had done it. But now, Don, you got involved with him in the broadcast portion of that.
Yeah, JV had pretty much retired from coaching. I think he was still an AD at Webster, and Bill Land, you'll see a picture with, got him involved in the radio end. And so I got with him in TV. And we started doing the Cox Games of the Week in 1988. That's how JV and I really became close, because we did those games together for almost 20 years. Nobody changed the perception of high school sports on television and radio than JV Haney did. And the reason for that is because when Cox wanted to televise these games on a weekly basis, the ADs weren't too sure. We're going to lose Gabe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea. And JV said, it's a 3-hour commercial for your school. First of all, let Cox help you, with regard to subsidize a little bit here for the gate that you might lose, but you don't understand. This is a great opportunity to get the kids on television, to get them more exposure. And so what you see today with all of the statewide televised games and what the 4 TV stations do with their high school football coverage is, that's the reason. The big reason is JV Haney got that done.
Outgrowth of what he really pushed. I think that was when we talked about those things. in our athletic director meetings, that was always his sale. Said, you're going to put your program out there in front of people in the entire state. I think he even worked with Tulsa Cable before Cox.
Yes, right.
That
it
was the
Tulsa
forerunner.
Cable back then.
Yeah, that was the
in
forerunner.
mid-80s.
I can remember them coming at the Union, and a guy by the name of Mel Elzia called me up about 4:30 one afternoon and said, "Hey, would you do the color on this wrestling match tonight? We didn't have anybody." I said, "Okay, excellent." But that was really JV got me involved with that. One of the things about JV I liked about when he was doing the KRMG call-in show, he would spend all Friday morning calling all the athletic directors in the area, saying, "Now call in tonight and ask me a question." And so we all had to call in because calls were, that's
the
how
premium right then.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So he was a great friend and will be really, really missed. What are some other things you did with JV?
Well, JV and I also did radio, sports talk radio. As you know it today, there are 4 stations in the market that do sports radio 24/7. JV and Bill Land actually started that back in 1991, doing a full-time sports radio station. And look what it is, some 30 years later, how much it's mushroomed throughout, not just Tulsa, but around the country. And JV and Bill did the morning show, and then I filled in when one of them were on the road. And so JV was as good a host, very endearing. People, as you know, loved to hear his stories. And he never, no matter how much you tried to get him to criticize a coach, he would never criticize a coach.
That
was one of the things we teased him about all the time.
that off the
He
table.
always had the coach's back, no matter what the decision was that the coach might have made that might have been the wrong decision at the time. He was never going to criticize the coach. And he taught me a valuable lesson, Gil. In one of the first games we ever did, I think I did criticize a player for fumbling a basketball out of bounds. And during the break, he said, always remember there's somebody there that should get complimented because he forced the guy to fumble the ball out of bounds. And that was a valuable lesson to me. Not
Absolutely.
to criticize high school kids, but to compliment the kid that should be complimented.
And I noticed that this weekend, a couple of college games that were on television, and that was a horrible call. I'm thinking, what in the world are you doing? How many timeouts have you called?
Right.
How many times have you been on that sideline?
Yeah.
JV, having been there, had a great insight as to how the game should flow and when a timeout should be called and everything. Well, what's your passing thought about JV?
Well, I tell you, one thing that he did that always drew me back to him is that he stayed in touch with all of his former players. And during the holidays, whether they're in college or out of college and working, he would want to get together and just tell about old stories and garner up just that spirit of getting together with everybody. And he was from Big Cabin. He had a big heart, not a big stature guy, but he just really enjoyed the company, and he was ready to move on. I mean, he had done his time here on earth, but he just will leave that legacy of just dignity and respect and gamesmanship. And he was a great competitor, great fun.
Let me tell you.
Yep.
Don, what about you?
To me, no wasted days. I mean, there wasn't a day that JV didn't help somebody on the phone, helping a coach get a job, talking about his former students. He was there at a phone call. He'd help any former student or athlete that he had. And in his latter days, it was a struggle, but he still fought to get better. And that's what I'll remember. No wasted days for JV Haney. He got his money's worth.
He did, and we did.
Yes,
By
we did.
being a friend, he, like I said, I met him in '76 when he moved, and we stayed in contact even when I went off to college athletics and then came back to Tulsa. One of the first persons I called when we came back to Tulsa, even though I was going to be in the oil and gas business for 6 months, was JV. He said, let's have lunch. And, he did this show for 20 years.
Wow.
And every Monday when I was the director, we would meet over at Phil's for lunch. And we'd go through the format so we would both know what was going to happen on Tuesday when we did the taping. And when he decided he didn't want to do that anymore, I said, well, golly, I'm going to miss going to lunch. Oh, we're still going
Still
to
going
lunch.
to lunch.
So we continued on,
Right.
every Monday, and we'd talk about the show, and I'd tell him what was going on. He was on our first board of directors of the Legends Foundation, was an integral part of that, and is truly an individual that changed a lot of things in my life, and I really appreciate that. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right, only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hills means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hill look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hill has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the head girls basketball coach, the Webster Warriors, Mike Hampton. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Your first year at Webster?
Yeah, this is my first year. I got out of coaching. I have a daughter that's a freshman at OSU this year, and I got out for 3 years to kind of do things with her, watch her play some ball. And I was at Monroe, and the principal at Monroe talked to me about, I told him I was thinking about getting back into coaching, and he told me about the Webster job position being open, and
It all worked
the
out.
rest is history. Yeah.
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 Where did you coach before then?
I was, before Monroe, I was at Hominy for 5 years, Oilton for 7, and Barnesdall for 2.
I see.
So
So you've had a lot of experience.
coaching both boys and girls.
Boys and girls,
basketball,
yeah. I'll never forget I interviewed for a job my second year out of school at Ketchum, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I went and interviewed, my dad had graduated from Ketchum, Oklahoma years and years ago. So I go to the interview, and I was interviewing for the football job. What I didn't know was I was the only coach. I was going to coach everything. And so we go over to the gym, and he said, well, let's take you over here, and I'll show you the girls' uniforms. I said, well, I don't need to see the girls' uniforms. He says, well, you're the girls' coach. I said, what? I thought I was a football coach. He said, no, you got to coach it. And what do you like to coach in the spring is what we'll play. I said, oh, gosh.
Wear a lot
So
of hats.
I went to Coffeyville. I didn't go to Ketchum.
Okay.
So, you do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, so you got you're building a program, obviously, from the ground up. Who are some of your players that are going to help you do that?
One senior that has played, Shavari Melton. She's really good with her attendance. She makes practice
Yeah.
frequently. We've struggled with that at times with some of the other players. But she's good effort, good attitude. And like I said, we've got 2 seniors, but she's the only one that's played the other seniors. This is her first year to play.
I see.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, she's the one senior that we've got that. I'll
How's your
bring in.
junior high program?
They played one game, and our building principal was texting me, "You need to come watch them. These girls." So she was excited. She
Good.
Miss Holman, she's big on basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, she
so
is.
yeah. So sounds
Good.
good. Sounds good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm planning on, since my numbers are low, getting some of them over after they get out of school to come practice with the high school.
Oh, sure.
Just
That'd be good
part
for them to understand what it takes to play at that next level.
Yes.
What teams? I guess all of the teams you need to beat. When
Yeah,
you're building a
that's
program.
kind of, I guess for me, it's been a nice thing because I really don't know much about TPS girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I never really, this is my first year to be in it, around it. I never really followed it. So I know in the past, and I didn't like doing this as a coach, but you could look at your schedule and kind of go, okay,
This
win,
one, yeah.
loss, win. So I really, I know that there's some that'll be tougher than others, but and I'm learning real quick at TPS, there seems to be a high turnover. So what the team had last year might be completely different.
I think our high school students have fallen into the college transfer portal. Everybody's transferring, and I think it's a shame. Everybody's looking for an NIL, which I think it will ruin athletics, and I hate it. Well, hopefully we'll get this program put together, and we'll have you back toward the end of the season and see how you've done.
Sounds great.
Thanks for being here. When you come back, we'll be with Terrence Buckley, the head girls coach of the McLean Titans.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Terrence Buckley, the head girls coach of the McLean Titans. Terrence, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we started basketball.
Yep, basketball season is fully in effect.
How long have you been at McLean?
This is my third year, going on third year.
Where were you before that?
I was at Sand Springs as an assistant coach over there before I got the McLean position.
Now, did you play in high school and college?
I played at McLean High School.
Oh.
All 4 years at McLean. Had basketball scholarship, but I ended up doing the academics.
I see.
Instead, went to OU, transferred to OSU, and graduated from OSU.
Excellent. What do you teach?
Physical education.
Okay. Oh, good. It's always good to come back to where you started.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be back home.
Yeah, we have a lot of former student athletes that end up back where they went to school that are coaches now.
Yeah, I see that around a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So as you look at this season, who are some of your outstanding players that you have come back?
We have a sophomore, Zakaya Germany. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do this year. Sydney Baker, lights out shooter, junior this year, is coming back. Tiana McKinnon is coming back, one of our bigs. So look, those three should be able to do a lot of damage this year.
Good. Your number's pretty good?
We had around 10 on varsity this
Okay.
year. Last year I was like at 6, 7.
Oh man, that's tough. You didn't have practice in it.
Yeah, so this year we actually have about 10 on varsity, and we also have a JV team as well.
Good. How's your relationship with your feeder programs?
Man, I really like what they're doing. We got some new coaches over there for the girls. New AD, Rob Kaiser, been doing a great job of putting them
Rob's
in place.
good man.
We've been communicating a lot, man. Communicating a lot. I like what they're doing. They come to check us out at practice. It's been pretty good.
I think that's key to keep those kids in the stream, moving through the program where they live. You know, play in front of your friends and all that thing. All this transfer, I think we've run college athletics because everybody's transferring. I saw today where they said Rattler's leaving now South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And going to Nebraska.
Wow.
He's
He
got
just
one-
transferred, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and our high school kids look at that and say, well, why can't I do that?
Yep.
You know, I think it's really a bad thing. As you prepare for this season, you don't play this week until Friday, right?
Yeah.
And you play Central,
Yeah, we got Central Friday.
and that'll be a big game.
Yeah, it's always a big game. That's like one of our rivals now. Booker T used to, when I was at McLean, it was always Booker T and McLean, but now this generation, it seems like it's Central and McLean.
Well, the size, you're the 4A
Yeah,
versus the 6A
exactly.
and so on.
Yeah.
It's makes it a little more difficult, to compete, and even it's difficult for Booker T to compete at the 6A level
Yeah.
because they're in the bottom 3
Uh-huh.
of 6A. But makes a difference. Who are the teams that you think you need to beat to be able to make it to the playoffs?
Man, honestly, the same way I tell the girls, like when they come to get on the floor at practice or just any game, we trying to beat everybody. So anybody that's on the other side.
Well, and this week's a big week.
Yes, and
Because Central's on the other
Central.
side, and
Include Central,
that's
yep.
big. What do you have next week?
Who we have next week? Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head for next week.
Well, the schedule goes
One day at a time.
the
One game
schedule
at a
goes
time.
so fast,
Yeah.
and you get into the playoffs and you're playing 2 games a week, and then you have snow and you got to play 3 games in a week. And it's
We actually have Norman. We have the Norman tournament coming up.
I was gonna say, what tournaments are you going?
December 8th through the 10th.
Oh, good.
We'll
That'll be a
going-
good tournament.
Yeah, we'll be going to Norman. It's a lot of competition in the tournament.
Yeah, that'd be a great tournament. You bet. Well, good luck.
Appreciate
we
that.
hope to have you back when we get to playoff time.
Oh yeah,
And
most definitely.
That'll be great. Good
Yeah.
luck this Friday.
Yeah, appreciate you.
When we come back, we'll have Juan Yu, the head girls basketball coach at Edison.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Juan Yu, the head girls basketball coach at Thomas Edison High School. Juan, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be
This
here.
is kind of a second run, isn't it? at
Yes,
Edison?
it is. Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got where you are today.
Okay. Well, my background, been in Tulsa Public Schools all my life. Graduated from McLean High School. Was on that state championship team in 1990. Went to college at NEO 2 years. Then I finished my degree up in Langston University. Then I started my teaching career in the year 2000, and I've been teaching and coaching since then. And in 2020, I had to retire due to a health issue, and I was just focusing on my health for this past 2 years. And then all of a sudden, I got a second chance at being a coach again, and I'm back at it. I've been on the job about 3 weeks now, so it's just good to get a second chance. Sometimes you don't get a second chance in coaching.
And you learn from the first time.
Yes, you learn.
That's a great thing. And people don't understand getting bit by that coaching bug. Once you get in there, and there's nothing like relating to those kids, getting to know them, seeing them grow and mature, and then graduate and go off and be successful. But while they're in your program, it's more than 2-pointers and 3-pointers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's your philosophy with what you want to accomplish with your student athletes?
Well, my first thing, academics first. It's always been my primary objective for us philosophy-wise, because these athletes are students first, and once we get that accomplished, we don't have to worry about eligibility.
Right.
So, but far as basketball-wise, I just want the players to be disciplined, be coachable, and just give 100% effort on everything we do, and everything else should fall into place.
That's good. What do you teach?
I teach mathematics, high school math.
So that's pretty regimented. You got to be exactly correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's just steps, precise steps for everything.
You know, I've told this story before, I think, but my son was taking Algebra 2, and one of my coaches at Union, when I was at Union as the AD, was the teacher. And she was a really good former basketball player and a good teacher. And she called me up one day and said, Coach Cloud, would you tell your son that he has to do all of the steps? Now, he gets the right answer, but he doesn't do all the steps.
Right.
So we had that talk when he came home that night. And I said, son, you have to lay things out because there's other things that you'll learn down the road in math that
Exactly.
you need to do.
And you can kind of relate that to coaching basketball as well, as far as, players, if they run a suicide, they don't want to go all the way to that line. You
Yeah.
have to tell them, hey, you got to get there.
Absolutely.
You got to do everything right.
Well, you only get out of what you put into
There you go.
an effort, and I think that's critical. So who are some of your outstanding returners?
We have a junior named J.C. Davis. She's been on the team since her freshman year. She's a very hard worker. She's one of my team captains. We have another player, which is my team captain, Jada Lyons. So those are returning players. They're the leaders of the team. Trying to lean on them as much as possible since, I just got with the team about 3 weeks ago. So they've been helping me out a lot as far as keeping the team together due to getting the numbers in. Because when I first took over the position, it was like 5 to 6 players.
Oh, my
so we was able to get up to 10. So now we can do a full practice for it. We can do game simulations.
Yeah.
But those 2 players are the ones who helped me out a lot. Helped me transition into the job.
How's your junior high program?
Great. Now that's the upside. The junior high program is we got some decent athletes, some girls who know the fundamentals, and when they get into high school, you'll definitely build a high school program as well.
Excellent. Well, on your have you opened it? Have you opened it up yet? Your schedule?
We play tonight.
Play tonight. Okay. Yes. Who you need to beat to be able to play in postseason play?
I hate to sound cliche. We need to beat everybody because we don't want to overlook no one or say we need to beat this team or that team. We trying to beat every team.
Sure.
And we have that mentality. We should have a decent record to where we can make some type of effect into the playoffs.
Green Country Conference pretty tough.
Oh yeah, always have been, always have been. And of course, we always put a star on those teams.
Oh,
because
sure.
Those conference teams are the teams that we definitely need to be very competitive against.
Well, very good. Well, good luck this year, and we hope that you have a successful season, and we'll hope we have you back for the playoffs.
Well, thank you.
We'll be back with Jalen Thompson from East Central.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Jalen Thompson, the head girls basketball coach of the East Central Cardinals. Jalen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I tell you what, the basketball season's on us. Have you opened the season yet?
Well, we have not. Supposed to play Tuesday the 29th, so today, but had a cancellation, so we play Friday against Webster. So
Okay.
We'll have our first girls game.
How long have you been at East Central?
This is my 3rd year, so going on year 3.
Before that, where were you?
I was the assistant coach at Bethel College. I played there, and so then I became a coach. I graduated from East Central, so that's where my East Central roots came in, and where I kind of wanted to get back to coaching. So
It's interesting that this is the 3rd one today that has returned home to coach.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's great. Your experience there was so good that you wanted to be a part of it again.
Most definitely.
That's really outstanding. As you put your program in now, your year 3, what are some of the things you want to accomplish both on and off the court?
So in the past, we've talked a lot about just like wanting girls to show up and wanting girls to be involved and like teaching the game of basketball. And now we kind of have an identity. And so now we can really work on those basketball things. So just making our kids actually more athletic and understanding the game more. We definitely take it a little bit more serious because the girls kind of understand the game more now. We talk more about winning rather than just like, hey, just show up and let's have fun this year. We talk about expectations of winning. We talk about things that we will change, like how we lost last year, understanding like we lost this way last year, so let's do it this way this year. So just understanding those things is a lot different.
How's your numbers?
So this year we have 16 players, which is our largest number going into a season we've ever had. So I'll have all 3 teams. I have 6 freshmen. So I have enough to play at the freshman games we've scheduled. I have 2 sophomores. And then I have 6 juniors and 4 seniors. So we're doing pretty well.
Good numbers, yeah, you bet. How is your feeder program?
It's pretty good. I have really good communication with the girls coach over at the middle school right now. We talk quite a bit, actually. They had 3 games so far. They're winning 3. He keeps me posted on how they're doing. I invited them to a couple practices and things like that. Our middle school numbers are really high. I think they're at 1,000 kids total. So they have at the school. So they have a 6th and a 7th grade team, and then they have an 8th grade girls team as well. So
excellent.
I mean, they're doing well. So
we got them lined up then.
Yeah, hopefully.
That'd be good. You bring them in there as you prepare for this season. Of course, the Green Country Conference is pretty tough. Every year, and Central, of course, was a fixture for many years. Who do you need to beat in the Green Country, aside from everybody?
Everybody. One of the teams that I know our girls really kind of model, because I guess we both kind of started at one spot, is Central. They really want to give Central a good run. Felt like we let that one slip last year, so they come back, we come back. We're like, hey, that's the one we want. And Memorial is another one. They've had, I think they went 15-5 last year. So just having a program like that, they beat us pretty bad. So like our girls, it's like it's our turn type thing. So those 2 are really big, and then Nathan Hale's our rival. So I always got to get them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What tournaments are you going to?
So we have Tahlequah, and then we have Shakota. We're only doing 2 this year. Tahlequah is going to be tough. Booker T's actually in it. That's our first game opening up. And then Shakota should be a really good one for us as well.
You bet. Well, that's great. I'm telling you, as we get into the basketball season, hopefully we can have you back toward the end of the year as we get ready for regional and area, hopefully.
Yes.
Get to that second level.
Yes.
And wish you good luck as we move into the basketball season. It's on us right now, and you'll get really busy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have you back sometime.
Yeah, we will.
When we come back, we'll have Jimmy Walker, who is the head girls basketball coach at Central.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, Plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. During this segment, we'll have Jimmy Walker, who's the head girls basketball coach of the Central Lady Braves. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Mr. Clown?
I'm doing great. How is basketball?
Going good. Can't complain. We didn't had a pretty good preseason and scrimmages. You know, had some tough competition in the scrimmages and played really well.
Good, good. What? How long have you been at Central?
This is going on my third year.
Third year, yeah. And before that, you were
at Sapulpa coaching boys.
There you go. How's it changed from boys to girls?
It hasn't changed. I've been coaching girls for about 10, 15 years during AAU, so I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at Union, and our head softball coach quit. And Buddy Slimp, who is a Central grad, really wanted to be a head coach, but he was a college baseball player and played pro for about 4 years. He came to me and said, "You think I can do that job?" I said, "Well, yeah, it's a head coach." He said, "Well, how do I coach those girls?" I said, "Just like you coach the boys."
You got that right.
So he did, and he did well. But so as you move into your third year of your program, you think you have things established the way you want them?
Oh, yes, sir. You know, last year we had our first winning record in 20 years, 14-10. Should have probably won more than 14, but, you know, we'll take that 14.
Well, sure.
And, you know, almost one game away from that regional championship game. And so we fought just to win that big game. And this year, I think we'll be able to win that game with playing a bunch of younger kids. Only had 3 seniors last year, only got 2 this year. So with 12 players that I do suit up. So
who are some of your good players?
Nicole Knighton, she's a senior. Nakia Blakely, she's a senior transfer from Memorial. Her dad is coaching with me now. Courtney Fortenberry, sophomore, started as a freshman. Monte Davis, junior, she done started all 3 years since I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, very talented young lady.
Got some continuity then in your program. Kids have been around the program, been around you.
Yes.
Yeah, and know what the expectation is. So how are your numbers?
This year I suit up 12 varsity right now. I have about 5 or 6 other girls that play JV, and they'll have a chance to get a jersey, you know, a varsity jersey if they show up every day and work hard. You know?
Right. I had a guy tell me one time who was a football coach at Hugo, and I asked him, I said, "How many players you got?" And he said, "Well, I've got 30 players and 10 chicken fries." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, they just go on the trips to eat the chicken fried steak." So you got to have those numbers, though.
Yeah.
How's your junior high program?
Junior high is all right. We had started out with a lot of girls, and then when the season got here, we had a big scrimmage, and we were supposed to have 2 teams and ended up with 1 team. Now. So, you know, but we got some young kids in that junior high that's got, you know, they're going to be pretty good. You know, it'll be good for them the next 2 years to play junior high. When they get to high school, they'll have a chance to, you know, make an impact.
Yeah. Who are the teams you need to beat?
In conference?
Conference, yeah.
Conference, you know, everything runs through Rogers. You know, Coach A over there, a real good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does a great job, and you know, you can't say you arrived until you done beat him.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
That's true.
he's the top of the food chain in Green Country. So just trying to compete with him.
He's put together a pretty good program.
Yes, he has
over the years there, and kids play hard for him, and I think that's important. So what tournaments are you going to?
We're in the Bishop Kelly tournament, which starts next week, which is pretty talented. I got Aaron Daniels, our boys coach, was in the tournament, and he said, "Won't you come on, get in this one?" So they called me, "Come on, your boys playing to be good." So, but didn't know what I was getting into.
Good thing you don't have to travel.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. So, you know, you got Sand Springs there, you got Moore there, you got Bishop Kelly, you got Owasso, you got Dale City, and you got Shawnee. And our first game was against Shawnee. So you know, but we'll be ready.
Well, yeah, and you know, when you putting a program in, they've got to see what it takes to be at that next level.
Yeah.
So playing those kind of people is not bad.
So we got the 4th seed. So that's saying that, you know, that means people respect us enough
absolutely.
to get the 4th seed.
I agree. Well, good luck, and we'll hope we'll have you back when we get to playoff time.
Okay, thank you.
And when we come back, we'll have Wes Hamilton, the head girls coach of the Hale Lady Rangers.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans like empty shaving cream cans also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now our guest is Wes Hamilton, the head girls coach of the Hale Rangers. Basketball season started, didn't it?
Yes, it has.
It has. Outstanding.
Yes, it has.
How long have you been at Hale?
This will be my 6th year.
6th year at Hale. Oh, I can remember when we did that back in the day.
Speaking of, Haney owes me a meal still.
Oh, well, you're not going to get it now.
I know.
But anyhow, so you've been there 6 years. How's your program?
It's getting better. The biggest part is building from the junior high school. We don't get the kids with experience coming up. We got kids coming in as sophomores and juniors trying to play for the first time. So it's really a lot of training. Hopefully in the next year or two that we'll be able to keep some kids from the junior high and push them up, because we don't have any junior high kids this year.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Who are some of your outstanding returners?
Deanna Robinson, senior. She's already off to a good start. Had a really good game against Memorial. And Montanese Randolph, she's the other senior. And she also had a really good game against Memorial. And then I have an upcoming junior, Jayla Moreland, that's going to be pretty solid too.
I see. So you've opened?
Yeah, we opened up with Memorial. They beat us by, I think, maybe 12. So it's a pretty good game.
And who you got up next?
Well, we're supposed to play today and this weekend, but we've got some issues, some great issues that we've got to deal with. So,
what tournaments are you in?
Locust Grove, Woodward, and we're looking forward to the Woodward tournament.
That's a road trip.
Yeah, it's about a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
But the kids will get to spend 3 days, 2 nights down there. So,
yeah,
that'll be fun.
That's a good experience.
You want to give them experience.
Environment.
Yes.
That's really, really good. Who's the team to beat in Tulsa?
Everybody.
Yeah, but who's the team to beat?
Well, probably Rogers. I think Rogers has a really good program. At some point, I thought it would have been Memorial, but there's been some changes made. So Rogers here in Tulsa would definitely be the team to beat.
How's Central?
Central's pretty good. They beat us. They've got a really good defensive team, and but they're 4A. So
yeah,
I'm thinking 5A teams.
Don't worry about 4A. That's right. As you look at your tournaments now, they're going to be pretty tough competition.
Yeah, hopefully I can steal a couple of games in each tournament. I really need to. Even if we just get one, I need to try to steal some games in the tournaments and then still come back and be able to play with Edison and Webster and a lot of TPS schools.
Well, we got some new coaches at some of the schools, so
Yes.
it'll be a transition for a lot of them. Is any parting shots you want to give us about the Hale Rangers women's program?
Well, I think we're headed toward the right direction. Again, it still starts in middle school, trying to build that middle school program, and if we can get a good handle on that, I got some 8th graders that are really going to make a difference next year for us as we continue to grow. Our biggest the problem that we have, that's our biggest problem, is academics, and we just have to really fix and work on academics.
Work on that. That's right. Well, that's why they're there.
That's right.
To get that education.
That's right.
Well, good luck. Hopefully
sir.
we'll have you back during the year and talk about playoffs and all that, and tournament champions and so on.
Lord.
And when we come back, we'll have Jamal James, the Memorial girls coach.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans like empty shaving cream cans also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hills means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hill look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hill has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And our last guest today, Jamal James. Jamal, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You're at Memorial now as a girls coach. Tell us about your background. How did you get to Memorial?
I've been at Memorial for about 2 years now. Just try to help out with the team as much as possible, you know, wait for my opportunity. And opportunity finally came.
It did.
Yes, sir.
So what's your background in coaching or playing?
Played I graduated from Memorial. Played under Savage for 2010 to 2013.
Okay.
And when he left, it then came in with Bobby. You know, so I know what a winning team looks like and what needs to be done.
Sure.
You know, and have a couple of summer teams that I coach along with.
I see.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
I came in 12, I think, and was there. So the last 2 years, I guess I was around when you were there. Memorial, Coach Asbury had restarted a program, I think. Where are you now with that rebuilding of the girls program?
Just keep building on towards it. We got a couple of seniors left, and then we're going to be young. So, I mean, we're definitely bringing in and rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just putting in hard work to teach the girls how to be good adults along with being good basketball players.
That makes a difference. I think character can win games for you in the end. You know, I always use the saying that Bum Phillips, when he was coach of the Houston Oilers and then he was at Oklahoma State and he was all over, coached 35 years, he said, I want to know if I'm hanging off that hill, you're not going to let go of the rope.
Oh, yeah. Count on me.
That's the key.
Who can you count on?
That's the key. And so I think that's important that you put that into your program. So who are some of your outstanding players?
I have Ariana Jones. She's a senior. And Tori Smith. They're both seniors, amazing players. They've been with the program for 4 years, so they're going to go out with a bang on their senior year.
Well, I guess so.
Yeah.
You got a great facility to play in.
Oh, yeah. You know.
How are your numbers?
Numbers, they're solid. We have our varsity team. We have our junior JV team.
Oh, good.
You know, I've been interacting with our middle school teams just to make sure, you know, we can keep building our numbers. You know,
that was my next question. Are you tied in with the feeder program?
Yes, especially with Maury Junior High. You know, they're right there. So
right.
I go to their games and interact with them all the time, and I'm trying to start going out to the road and start interacting with them.
That's important.
You know, introducing myself. You know,
they need to be comfortable, know who you are, and know what the program's like, and so on. I think that's an important thing as you prepare your team for this year. Who are the people you need to beat?
People we need to beat: TPS, Central, especially just for district. I think Central is going to be a good matchup this year.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think they'll be pretty tough. I think that's about it on this side of the
East Central. What about East Central?
East Central, they have a lot of numbers. They do have a lot of numbers. They probably will. I need to go out and scout them.
And Rogers.
Oh yeah, Rogers. I did forget about Rogers. Rogers is always nice. Yes, we'll be in their tournament, so we'll get a
That's
get
good.
a little peek at
Yeah,
them.
we'll play over there. That's good.
They're always tough. I did forget about them.
Carlin has done a good job over there.
Yeah.
When he came in and built that program up.
Man.
They've had some runs at the state, and I think that's what you want to get.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, like I said, we're young, but my core five are tough. You know, if my bench come in and do what they need to do, we can definitely make a run.
What effect does the boys program have on the girls program? They're so successful.
It plays a big role because the girls want to be like them. They want to be just as good. They want to, they want to be champions. You know.
Sure.
And so we see the competitiveness right there in front of us, and I say, we need to get that same competitiveness.
Yeah.
We need to work just as hard. You see what it takes to win a championship.
It's good to see what it takes.
It's
That's
right
the
there
key.
in your face.
Yep.
So we need to be just doing it just as hard.
So you got the Rogers tournament. What other tournament do you have?
The Bartlesville tournament.
Bartlesville, that'd
we'll
be
do
good.
that right after Christmas break. We'll go right into that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I expect an amazing season.
And have you opened yet?
Yes, we played Hale last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday.
Last
So
Tuesday.
you play this week, I guess.
Nope, it's a bye week.
Oh, that's good.
Yep, it's
That's
a bye
good.
week.
After a break.
Yes.
Well, we're glad you're here. Good luck this year. Hope we'll have you back around playoff time.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
We hope you enjoyed the show getting to know a little bit about TPS girls basketball. We hope that you will support these programs as we continue to grow our programs of numbers for student athletes who are participating. I want to thank Don King and Kathy Barkley for joining us today and sharing their memories about our longtime friend and colleague, J.V. Haney. Coach Haney was the host of Inside Tulsa Athletics for over 20 years. Probably was the best as well. What his personality meant to Tulsa Public Schools can never be calculated, because he was a supporter every day that he walked on this earth. J.V. Haney, rest in peace, Coach. You've done a great job for many years. We'll be back in 2 weeks on our December the 15th show featuring the Tournament of Champions basketball tournament. If you are a basketball fan, you don't want to miss this show, because the 15th show will be at the BOK Center and we'll have coaches from all the teams. We'll see you in 2 weeks.